what if our goal really is, for the entire technology, is to create real equity? You need to basically allow every person to reach their full potential, no matter where they are. They don't need to be below average. They may have potential to be as good as they possibly can be. But the question for technology is, what, for a specific given time, because we don't have extra time, we don't have infinite time, we have a fixed amount of time, how can we, for that fixed amount of time, have everybody be able to reach their particular potential? And the only way to do that is if the velocity of this curve is drastically stronger than anything that current curricula can provide. So that's the key objective that the technology should be doing. If we look at sort of adult learning, workforce readiness, college, et cetera, and maybe some people were long removed from college. So what happens is when you remove from college is that dotted line doesn't go up anymore. It actually goes down because over time you've forgotten a lot of things that you've learned in the past. So therein lies our challenge. Somebody could be at arbitrary, their knowledge at that point is kind of like Swiss cheese. There are many missing pieces. The key question for technology is, how can I, in the most efficient time, without going to the remediation purgatory for a year or 2 years, but to actually sort of together, if I'm a nurse, I need to learn statistics, but I don't have enough algebra. How can I get just the right amount of algebra for every day of statistics such that I'm just ready to absorb that new piece of material? So first one is focus on the whole person, right? So figure out how can you get that inspired learning, productive struggle? How can you change the mindset? Second is how can you adjust the entire support structure? Namely, it's not just how can your computer adjust to the student, but there's the entire environment. There are peers that can help to learning. There's a classroom, there are instructors, there are TAs. So the question is, how can we take all of those resources and use the technology to be aware of them and to maximize the actual outcomes of the students based on knowing that curriculum? And not only that, but how can we, given that the environment somewhere else is different, dynamically adjust for that specific unique need? Third, and this was, to me, I realized after observing many ways in which people get discouraged and walk away from trying to do things, is you cannot waste a second. By the time people are willing to take another course to upskill, to reskill to something, it's probably like 10, 11 at night after they've put kids to sleep. They already went to work. They're exhausted, right? So how much time do you have? How much time of actually really do you have? It's very limited. So the key thing is that you should not waste a single second of that time. So that means in real time adjust exactly on what the student needs, such that within every 5 minutes they see that they have moved from not understanding something to having understood something. And if you don't have that fine-grained feedback loop that happens frequently, it's very easy to have people be discouraged. Another point is, don't teach what you don't need. Okay? So our structures of education is always like, oh, you need this course, or maybe you need this other course. So more recently, we're doing sort of this, we're breaking those things up in co-requisite module models, but they're still sort of pretty large modules. I mean, it takes you a while to go through that module. What if you could not know something, and 20 minutes later, you can absorb and know everything that you need? And the final one is, how can you learn by doing? Okay? So this is how we learn. We're built to learn by doing. We're not built to learn by observing, abstractly internalizing, analyzing, and then mapping onto something that we need to do. That's very, very hard to do. Very, very few people can do that. So the question is, how can we learn everything by just starting to do it, and then everything that we need, that we're missing, we get it just in time based on what we need?